Hello everyone, I am Benjamin Contreras, and welcome back to the Jasper Cat Production Show. Now today's video is going to be a very interesting video, as I'm not reviewing a game, I'm not reviewing a toy. I'm actually doing my first impressions on a movie that I recently saw named Ted 2, the sequel to the original movie Ted, which came out a few years ago. Now, if you're afraid of me spoiling the movie, then please stop the video, because I am going to spoil the story and majority of the plot points that are introduced. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, click off the video and go and see it, and then come back here. Now, the story of Ted takes place right after the events of the original. Now, basically the gist of it is that the main protagonist, Ted, gets married, and their relationship with him and his wife go completely downhill, as the government later on considers Ted to be property and not a human, and him and his friends are all trying to get him to be human and not property. And they're like different court sessions, and it is basically he's trying to get his civil rights back, so that he can be with his wife and have a kid and have a good relationship, and all that stuff that people always want. Now, some people don't think that that will most likely happen, as the main antagonist of the movie, pretty much the company of Hasbro who created Ted in the first one before he came to life, the main antagonist from the first movie goes to the main head of Hasbro and tells them that if Ted becomes property, they're able to get him back and reproduce more Teds, so they can pretty much make a huge amount of money, because that's pretty much all that companies really care about. So that's pretty much all about the story. It is a good story, it does get the job done, but one complaint that I have about it is that a couple plot points from the original Ted are also made in this one. For example, the main antagonist from the original Ted, who also works for Hasbro, his intentions for capturing Ted in the first movie are all pretty much explained in the first movie, so his intentions in the second movie won't really make much sense if you haven't seen the first one before this one. And that was pretty much me at the time when I saw the movie. So that's the only real complaint that I have about it. But other than that, the entire rest of the movie, everything else is just brilliant. The movie is hilarious, every single scene is memorable, and no scene isn't dull or drags on in the slightest. Every single scene got me laughing, from the introduction with the narrator, it's a good thing that the creators of Family Guy and American Dad and all those funny shows also have voices in this movie. So if you have seen those shows, you're able to actually remember what their voices sound like, because they're pretty much the exact same. So the narrator, he's the CIA leader in American Dad, and his voice was just perfect for the narrator and what he says in the beginning. Now, one scene that I felt that could have been a little bit short is the dancing scene in the beginning of the movie. I felt like that didn't really have much purpose there. It was funny for the most part, but I felt like it could have been shortened for a little bit. Other than that one scene, from the scene in the grocery store, to the final scene at Comic-Con, all the different actors that were there, all their characters, they're all memorable, and the movie is just hilarious. The villains in the movie are also pretty good, and also have their funny moments as well. For example, near the end of the movie when they get Ted, the main leader from Hasbro doesn't want to be involved in this plan, so instead of saying that he works for Hasbro, he just says he works for Mattel. I thought that was funny when he said that. And There's also the scene that was also in the convention, which was actually my favorite scene. The ending scene at Comic-Con with all the people like cosplaying, all the different scenes that were happening. Also, those two people who were in the costume just making fun of all the people there. Those people were also very funny. The scene where Ted's friend gets hurt and the main antagonist from the first movie, who was dressed up as a Ninja Turtle, to get by him. When Ted got the lawyer's phone and played that one song and the guy started dancing, I thought that was funny when he did that. So, yeah, there is a lot of comedy in the movie. There's a lot of drama in the movie, you know, with Ted trying to get his civil rights. And there are also a couple dirty jokes, but it doesn't go too over the top to the point where it's not at all good for kids. Then again, the movie pretty much isn't for kids at all, because there is a whole lot of swearing, a lot of dirty scenes. But other than those, I think the movie is just hilarious. Everything about it. There are a couple scenes that I felt like could have been slowed down, that could have went by for a shorter amount. But all in all, I love this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, I definitely recommend you see it. If you saw the first one and want to see the second one, go and see it as early as you can. And even if you haven't seen the first one and didn't really care about it, even if you did see it, you'll definitely have a change of opinion once you see the sequel. So in terms of a 5-star rating, I'm giving this a 5 out of 5. I definitely recommend it. It's just a great and hilarious comedy. So I really hope you enjoyed my personal impressions video on Ted 2. If you've seen the movie and you have a different opinion on it, tell me in the comments section. And if this is the first video you've seen of me, make sure to subscribe, like the video, follow me on Facebook, all that good stuff. And until then, I'm Benjamin Gutierrez, and bye.